What's up, everyone? Is my mic on? Hold on. I can't hear this. What's going on, everybody? All right, we are definitely on. What's up on TikTok? What's up on Twitch? We're on YouTube. What's going on, everybody? My name is Jay Tarantino. I play guitar in a band called Etherius, and I am here playing some tracks for ya. Daddy-O Guitar, what's up? Thank you for the gifts. What's going on, everybody? What's up, Earth Angel? What's up, Rebel Girl? What's up, Jam Fusion? Shout out to everyone. My name is Jay Tarantino. I play guitar in a band called Etherius. I am here every night playing some tracks for you from our catalog. So if you're into sick guitar solos, you should stick around because I got plenty of them. And we're going to keep this going here. That was a song called The Dark Oracle. I'm actually going to play that one again. So here we go. That was a song called The Dark Oracle right there from my band Etherius. Yo, shout out to everybody on TikTok. What's up? More notes, less money? How about more notes, more money? What's up, Ash? All right, let's see here. What we got going on here? Let me try to figure out what's going on here. All right, Daddy O Guitar says, I am into solos. I heard learn solos first. Nah, dude, learn how to play rhythm. Learn how to play rhythm and learn how to write songs before you get really good at solos. Because if you can't write songs and you can't play riffs, then it doesn't matter how good you can play as far as lead guitar. Learn rhythm. Get good at rhythm. What's up, Ash? All right. I hope More Notes makes more money. That's the name of the game, man. That's my goal in life. What's going on, everybody? All right, we are live on Twitch. We are live on TikTok, and we are live on YouTube right now. Appreciate everyone being here. And I don't know why the Twitch stream is not playing. Let me refresh my browser here. There we go. All right, let's see. Samuel says there are plenty of players that strum, very few that pick. I think it depends what genre. I mean, obviously, like, I'm a metal guy, so everybody in metal can pick. But yeah, I mean, it just depends. Like, I'm a metal guy through and through. I mean, I like other music too, but man, I'm all about the picking. What do I think of the song? I don't know. I don't know what song that is. I'm sorry. What's up, Redneck? All right, what we got going on Twitch? All right, chat's quiet. We got YouTube. And let's see. We got TikTok. Yo, what's going on, everybody? What's up, Redneck? Redneck says, Jello, my good sir. What's up, man? All right, we are going to play some more music. This next song is from, again, my band Etherius. We have a new album. It's called Hymns of the Crimson Raven. We got 3 albums, but this is our newest one. I'm actually going to play an old song from our first album, Thread of Life. Came out in 2017, or I'm sorry, no, we recorded it in 2017. It came out in 2018. This song is called Thread of Life. My man's listening to me while he's waiting for his boring shift to be over. Shout out to you, man. Shout out to everybody at work. I know Austin's always listening when he's at work, too. song called Thread of Life. All right, man. What's up? What's up, everyone? All right, let's see. What's up, Ryan? What's up, Daniel? All right. Let's see what's going on over on YouTube. The chat is quiet, but shout out to everybody over there. Shout out to everybody over on Twitch. All right. All right. For those of you, can you test my intro for my band's first song? No. Nope. Sorry. All right, Marshall, what's up? Marshall says, have not been here in a long time. Shout out to you, man. It's been a while. I know. It's been a minute. All right. What's going on, everybody? Again, my name is Jay Tarantino. I play guitar at a band called Etherius, and I'm playing some tracks. This is our latest album called Hymns of the Crimson Raven, and I'm playing some tracks for you from our catalog, and I just played a song called Thread of Life. This next song is called Veins of Silver and Sorrow. Nuevo Martino says he loves that song. I'm gonna play it again because I fucked up the chorus. How did I forgot. I played that solo how many hundreds of times, and I forgot what my notes were there. What's up, Nuevo Martino? What's up, Ryan? Ryan says, nice playing, man. Trying to get you some boost, man. Appreciate that. What's up, Darkwing? All right, we're gonna play that one again because I fucked up. What's up, Mark? Thanks, Mark. Hold on, let me review. I gotta fact check my licks here. There we go. Hold on, let me try that one more time. There we go. How did I forget that? I played that lick so many times and I forgot. I forgot how to do it. I fucked up. All right. What's up, Kyle? What's up, Darkwing? Darkwing says that she says, my bad, I'm late. That's inexcusable. That's no excuse. What's up, Kyle? What's up, Mark? Redneck's phone died. Uh-oh. Brother, you've been hanging around Darkwing too much. I'm just teasing. All right? Relax. What the fuck? She said, bruh. She called me bruh. Who been hanging around Darkwing too much? Clearly not me. She said that's not peak Riz. Peak Riz is me not fucking up my licks. That's peak Riz. We're going to try that again. fucking yeah. That was a song called Veins of Silver and Sorrow. All right, Kyle's got a question for me. Let me answer that. Cabins, what's up, Cabins? Cabins is watching on YouTube. He says, dang, this sounds amazing. Clear as hell. Thank you, man. Appreciate that. All right, so Kyle asks, what's my live rig? Dude, my live rig is exactly the same as this rig. The only difference is I just use a power amp to run a cab. Other than that, dude, it's obviously this guitar, Axe Effects, and then I just run the Axe Effects direct into my Focusrite. But when I play live, same rig, I just run the Axe Effects through a power amp into a cab. I have a 4x12 Mesa rectifier cab. The key is it's white. That's the key to the tone, is the color. But it's an awesome cab. My rig sounds awesome, like just the way it is, like with no what do you call it? I can't think of, I don't remember what I was gonna say. But my rig sounds amazing the way it is with the power amp, with a solid state power amp and that cab. My live rig moves some air. It does sound like a tube amp. I'm gonna talk myself up. You fucking damn right I am. What's up, Anthony? No latency. Nope, none whatsoever. Let me drop the link. Let me drop a link in the live chat. We're gonna have to do a stream where I talk about my gear. I mean, it wouldn't be a long stream. There's not really much to talk about. What's up, Isabella? Yeah, dude, the Celestians. Nuevo Martino, brother, thank you. I have not checked out Farplay yet. I will check it out. What's up, Anthony? What's up, brother? Anthony's from Ohio. He's got that Ohio Riz. Because my man is really is from Ohio. All right. She says, you damn right. I'm gonna toot my own horn. Tell everybody how awesome I am. All right, Citizen. Yeah, Citizen's my right-hand man. He's in every stream. He's modding all of my streams here. He's modding TikTok. He's modding Twitch. He's modding YouTube. We're all over the place. Like I said, man, we're on YouTube. We're on Twitch. I think we're on Facebook tonight too, and we're on we're on TikTok. Yeah. Yo, listen, the 100-watt Fender Mustang is awesome. That is a cool amp, dude, for real. Confidence is key, yes. Can I play Bless the Broken Road by Rascal Flatts? Listen, if you came to hear country music, this is the wrong stream. We metalheads over here. I appreciate the request, though. And you asked nicely. You didn't come in here and say, play this. What's up, Maze? I appreciate that. Don't worry. No, it's all good. If you like guitar... Speaking of Rascal Flatts, Andy Wood is an amazing guitar player. Andy Wood played guitar in Rascal Flatts. What's my opinion on tube versus solid state? I am a tube guy. I like tubes. They keep me warm in the winter. Nah, man, listen, I have had so many really killer tube amps over the years. I had a couple Angles. I had a Savage 120. I had a Powerball. I played a 5153. I've had Marshalls. I had a J. I will say one of the best amps that I ever owned that I kind of wish I never got rid of was the PV-JSX, the Satriani head. That thing was awesome. That thing had so much gain. It was crazy. Yeah, I've always been into tube amps, but ever since the modeling thing, I haven't owned a tube amp in like 10 years, but I do want to get back into it. All right, Redneck says I have a serious question. What's your serious question, sir? All right, let's see. We got questions. We got some questions here. All right, Anthony asks, what's your DAW of choice and why do you favor it? I use Cubase. The only reason I favor it is because that's what I learned on. I started using Cubase in 04, 05, because when I joined my previous band, the singer had Cubase, and we were going to write songs together. So I wanted to have what he had so we could make it as easy as possible. And because the internet, we didn't have Dropbox. We didn't have file share. Well, that's not true. We did, but we didn't have it to the length that we have it now. So that was a very loud motorcycle. So, I've always been Cubase. I don't have the patience for Pro Tools. I just don't. To me, Pro Tools is just, there's too much going on. Now AI does it. Don't even get me started. I do use ChatGPT sometimes, not for music, but for like troubleshooting. Like when I put my Twitch stream together, and I was trying to figure out some of the technical aspects of OBS. ChatGPT came in handy for asking questions about some of the technical, getting the audio and the video right. All right, let's see. Kyle says, I'm trying to find a good head for live shows. Maybe those 2 amps are hot. Dude, get yourself a used 5152 or a used 5153, man. Get one of those, or you could even get like an angle iron ball. The angle iron ball is one of the smaller, like 25 watt, like lunchbox heads. Those are pretty cool. I'm using ChatGPT the right way. All right, Anthony says, perhaps I should hit you up for tips. I've got Cubase 11 Elements. Okay, yeah, I started. Cubase Elements comes with, like, when you buy an interface, it'll come with, like, Elements. It's like a more stripped-down version of, like, regular Cubase. Bit of a learning. Yeah, dude, once you learn all the hotkeys are the key. No pun intended. Well, yeah, pun intended. Cakewalk is free. Yeah, even so is Reaper. Kyle says, I'm going to look into those. I want the 5150 iconic, but can't afford it. Yeah, dude, I totally get that, man. But, nah, dude, you could probably find a 5152 or an older 5153 for a decent price used. Angle iron ball is a good one. I'm trying to think of what else. I know somebody that had a Bugera head, but it sounded great, but it was just really unreliable. The Bugera heads always were. My friend had a Bugera, and it was always breaking down. It sounded great, but it was always breaking on him. It was like a $600 or $700 tube head. All right, Redneck says, I've had many people tell me to try this amp called Spark. Yeah, it's like a little practice amp that you can load presets into. I think I want to say it's IK Multimedia, but I could be wrong about that. I'm not up to date on the listen. I'm a dinosaur when it comes to gear. I'm such a dinosaur. Like, I'm just very set in my ways. Like, once it sounds good, I'm not interested in anything else. Like, I've had the Axe Effects for 10 years now, and I just I have no desire to try anything else because I got it dialed in. All right, Citizen says, I use a Nano Cortex pedal tied into an Audio Box i2 audio interface with Cakewalk. That's a good rig, man. Solid. That's a solid rig. What's up, beautiful, not savage? Redneck says, me too. I just like regular amps with some preset. Yeah, dude, like the Hughes and Kettner, like if you want to try like an amp, like a tube amp with digital effects, like the Hughes and Kettner, is it the Switchblade? I want to say it's the Switchblade. It's a tube amp, but it's got like digital, it's MIDI controllable. It's got digital presets already in it. It's pretty cool. It sounds good too. Citizen says, if only my amp was decent. It's a little 15-watt line 6. Dude, get you some neural plugins, like the Fortin plugin. Jake D says, go with a Mesa Mark II C. Yeah, if I had like 6K to blow on an amp. I did have a Mark V for a minute. That thing was awesome. Do I remember my first concert? If so, how'd it go? Mine was recent. It didn't... Oh, dude. My first gig was in 2005. It was awful. Well, no, it probably wasn't as bad as I think. But yeah, I totally feel that, man. Dude, once you get used to playing live, once you do it more, you'll be good, man. You'll be fine. You're a killer player, so I have faith in you, man. Beautiful Not Savage says, dude, the last thing I used was a pod with the floorboard. I never got She says, I never got past the delay and sold it. That reminds me, my first half stack was a Line 6 Flextone 2. Flextone 2 HD. That was in 2004. The JP2C is nice too, 3K. Kyle says hands were shaking like I never played. Dude, I absolutely relate to that. It was kind of awesome first time. It was. Because you got to think about this, like the whole modeling thing when it first came out, it was a cool idea, but obviously they didn't have it dialed in because it sounded like shit. But like when you look at the modeling stuff now, it's like almost impossible to tell the difference between that and the real thing. Citizen says, I'm pretty sure my first effects pedal was a Line 6 pod. Dude, nothing. Yo, the pod is the GOAT. That's where it all started, man. I wonder if neural plugins were. You'd have to look into that. I'm not totally sure. They should. I would think they would. Because the Nano is a neural product. Kyle says, dude, I was stressed. Dude, I feel you, man. I absolutely relate. I remember the first couple of gigs I played. It's like even today, like sometimes I just like forget. I forget my licks. Even streaming too. Like I just played Veins of Silver and Sorrow. I like forgot the chorus, one of the licks I play in the chorus. And like I play that solo hundreds of times and I forgot that one little part. I had a brain melt for a minute. So it happens. What plugins I'm referring to specifically, dude, try the Fortin plugin that Neural makes. There's a Petrucci one, there's a Tim Henson one, there's a Pliny one. And yeah, the Petrucci one is pretty awesome too. At least that shows it's real. Yeah, dude, like you know my videos are real. I'm not faking it. I'm not miming. I'm actually recording my takes live. Now, listen, that being said, you know, when I post videos, it's not always the first take. You know, I might do a couple of takes and pick the best one. So let's not kid ourselves like, oh, I just nailed the first take of every video I post. But no, I do it all live. Unfortunately, it's part of the social media game. You got to play the game. He says they're like $120 a piece. Going to put that on my buy later. Dude, they're totally worth it though. You wait till they have sales. Like they do like big Black Friday sales, Christmas sales. Like you might want to wait till then to get some good deals on plugins. Kyle says I probably take 20 videos and only post one. Dude, yeah. All right. Yo, let's get back to some music. I enjoy all your questions, though. This is fun. It's like an AMA, man. Ask me anything. And then in between, I'll just shred your face off with some killer licks. Killer sick. I'm not even making sense right now. I've had a long week. Was I talking about Petrucci's Dreamscape? No, I was talking about the plugin, the Neural plugin that they made for Petrucci. But the Dreamscape pedal, that's the is that the TC Electronic Reverb? I think it's the Reverb. I like Reverb. Reverb is cool. It's fun. Sometimes I go a little too crazy with the Reverb. Like the other day when I had my vocal, when I first got this mic, I had my vocals a little too reverb. They were a little too reverby. Hold on, let me fix my mic here. All right. This next song is called Sedna. This is from the new Etherius album, Hymns of the Crimson Raven. If you want to check the album out, if you're watching on Twitch, if you're watching on YouTube, click the link that I posted in the chat. If you're watching on TikTok, click the link in my bio. Check it out. Here's a song called Sedna. LFG, let's do it. 2 for 2. I'm batting 1,000 here. Fucking up all my licks. Let's try that again. Hell yeah, that was a song called Sedna right there. All right, let's see. Do I like Guns N' Roses? I'll be honest with you, I think Guns N' Roses is one of the most overrated bands in the history of time. So, no, I'm not. Nah, I shouldn't say I'm not. Like, I totally rock Appetite for Destruction. I just think they had one good album, and to me, that was it. Use Your Illusion 1 and 2, they could have taken the best songs from both and made one album. I thought those two albums had too many filler tracks. But the songs that are good are really good, but the rest of it is just stupid. So, and then they did that crappy Chinese Democracy album. It's just a big mess. He says, not me with $531 of plugins in my cart. Anthony says, my oldest pedal board is a Digitech. Oh my God, the Digitech RP10. I remember when that came out. Anthony says, I graduated to VSTs. All right, he's got the Neural Archetype Petrucci, the Polychrome McRocklin, and STL. Those are all solid plugins, man. The STL ones are really good. The Digitech RP10, that is a relic from an ancient time, like in like the before time. I totally remember. I remember when they came out. My first pedal was a Zoom 505. I don't know if anybody remembers that pedal. It came out in the late 90s. And there was one specific clean tone that it had. And it sounded just like the beginning of Welcome Home Sanitarium, and I lost my mind on that. I played that preset for hours because I thought it sounded just like the album. I was like, this is amazing. Kyle says, old Digitech is great for reverb and chorus, even to this day. No, dude, you're absolutely right, man. Yeah, GNR is overrated. All right. E agrees with me, says probably the top 4 songs. Dude, yeah, man, like the just take the best songs from both those albums and just make one album. And there you go. Anthony says, I'm aging myself with that Digitech. Just a little bit. For all the youngins out there, if you don't know what the Digitech RP10 was like, that was the shit back in the day. It was a big pedal board. It was like one of the first like bigger pedal boards, and it was like $200 or $300 at that time, which was really expensive. You know, back in like 97, 98, man, that was a lot of money. I'm aging myself too with that. But yeah, that was a solid pedal. I had a Zoom 505. I had a Fender Princeton 112. Kyle says, since Giuseppe isn't here, I'll say Slash is overrated. I wouldn't necessarily disagree with that. But I don't know, man. I think he's got some cool solos. I think Sweet Child of Mine is actually a pretty killer solo. I think Anastasia's pretty cool, too. Personally, I think the stuff he does with Miles Kennedy is way better than anything he did with Guns N' Roses. The Miles Kennedy stuff is so much better, I think. Anastasia is an awesome song. That first Conspirators album is really good. I don't remember the name of it, but it's fucking awesome. Yeah, oh, that's right. Yeah, it had an expression pedal. Yep. I remember. The memories are coming back. All right, let's play some more songs here. All right. This next song is nice and heavy. This song is called Gilded Shadows of Oblivion. Bang your head, throw your horns in the air. Let's do this. right, that was a song called Gilded Shadows of Oblivion. Beautiful Not Savage says, so clean. Thank you. I am actually like kind of sloppy, a little bit sloppy tonight. But I guess I'm good at covering it up. Well, thank you. All right, what do we got going on? Let's see what's going on over on the YouTubes. The quad cortex, it's in the name, quad. I tried to use the nano cortex as my audio interface, but it only has the one input. Yeah, the quad, I think, I'm pretty sure the Axifex has a couple inputs, but I never tried using the Axifex as an interface. I have a Focusrite 6i6, which is cool. It works, man. It does the job. So that's what I'm running right now is the Focusrite, the 6i6. It's only two. Is it 2 or 4 imp or 6 imp? I don't even know. I don't even care. I only use 2 of the inputs, just one for my guitar, one for the mic. That's it. Ryan says, I'll be back. Keep it up. Ryan, dude, thank you for the gifts, man. Appreciate that. I'll be here, man. I'm going to be here for at least another 45 minutes. We're going to keep this moving. All right. Anya says, can I play Master of Puppets? I actually don't know how to play the whole song. I know that sounds crazy. All right, Chase says, Slash can play guitar. I just think Slash prefers to play less technical. It would be kind of weird if he was a shredder. Like, if he played in a band like Guns N' Roses and was just shredding. I mean, well, to be fair, Paradise City has some pretty shreddy blues licks going on at the end. That's a cool solo. Citizens, my audio box has 2 input. Yeah, dude, all you need, man, like, if you're doing, like, what you're doing or what I'm trying to do, you just need 2 inputs, man. One for the guitar, one for the mic. Vocal, you know. I mean, and if you're not streaming, if you're just playing and you're writing, you just need one, really, for the guitar. Maybe MIDI, you know, for some keyboards, whatever you're trying to do. Or bass. Well, bass, I guess you could use the same input. But yeah, you only need, like, for me, I only need, like, 1 or 2 inputs. I don't need 12 inputs. I'm not trying to record a full band. I just do everything right in the box and just direct. Yeah, the MIDI pedal board comes in clutch. You should set up the MIDI pedal board. Abso-freaking-lutely. All right, let's play some more music. All right, shout out to everybody on YouTube. This next song is called Arctic Shadowscape. Little Arctic shadowscape right there for ya. What is Sultang of Wings? What's up? What is that? I don't know what that is. Is that like... What's up, Ivan? What's up, brother? Beautiful Not Savage says, good stuff, thank you very much. No, I know what it is. I'm just being a smartass. Sultang of Wings. You mean Sultans of Swing. When I play guitar, my mic is up. All right, I got to turn my vocals up a little bit. Let me turn the vocals up a little tiny bit. How's that? How does that sound? Ivan says, show us your favorite song that you have written. So let it be written, so let it be done. All right. This song is called The Rivers of Sand and Blood. Oh yeah, that was a song called The Rivers of Sand and Blood. Fucking heavy right there, man. Make you bang your head. Yo, shout out to Ozzy. We got Ozzy in the chat. Shout out to Ozzy. I'm a huge Ozzy fan. Listen, I'm going to be honest with you, man. The day that Ozzy dies, I am going to cry like a little bitch. Because I appreciate Ozzy's music so much. Ozzy was a huge influence. I mean, his music, man, because just think of all the amazing guitar players that he got to play with. Between Randy, obviously Tony Iommi, Randy Rhoads, Jakey Lee, Zakk Wylde. I mean, the list, Gus G, the list goes on. Like, Ozzy, man, he's my dude. I love that guy. Ivan, thank you. Yes, you were correct. Ozfest was always amazing. I went to, God, I went to so many Ozfests. I remember one of the best ones I ever saw was 2004. 2004 Ozfest. It was Black Sabbath, Judas Priest, Slayer. Who else played? I think it was Black Label Society, Judas Priest, Ozzy, Slayer. No, Black Sabbath. Ozzy didn't do a solo set. He did a Black Sabbath set. Slayer. I think Hatebreed was there. Slipknot might have been there. Yeah, the years kind of all blended into one another. Do I know how to play any Fallujah songs? I don't know how to play any Fallujah songs, but I am familiar with them. Yes, Scott Carstairs is a phenomenal player. One of your favorites was System. Okay, System of. Did Ozfest include death metal? I'm trying to think. Were there any death metal bands? I don't think so. I don't remember there being any death metal bands at Ozfest. I know who was there. Like a couple of years that I went 1 year. It was Disturbed, Linkin Park. I think Papa Roach, a Black Label, Ozzy, or not Ozzy, Black Sabbath. And then there was another one that I went to. It was Hatebreed, Slipknot. No, Arch Enemy. I'm forgetting. Arch Enemy played Ozfest. Arch Enemy played the second stage. Arch Enemy played in 2005. I want to say it was 2005. I do remember, I saw, I think 2001, Marilyn Manson, too. I remember. That was 2001, yeah. Marilyn Manson stuck a wireless mic up a dancer's. Oh, my God. She says that was really something. Yeah, you don't see that every day, right? Jesus. Now Marilyn Manson looks like the auntie that asks you when you're going to settle down. Ivan says, I went to watch Linkin Park in Buenos Aires. All right, you're from Brazil. Linkin Park, the one time that I saw Linkin Park open for Metallica. Metallica did the Summer Sanitarium tour in 2003. It was Limp Bizkit, Linkin Park, Metallica. I think Disturbed was there. And Linkin Park was pretty awesome, I will say. I'm not a fan of their music, but they put on one hell of a show. What is it with rock stars when they age? They look like aunties. They look like aunties, like crazy aunties. Like between Marilyn Manson, David Coverdale, Steven Tyler, they all look like the eccentric grandma / auntie that we all have in our family. It's fucking weird. She said Steven Tyler was my first thought. Yeah, it's so bizarre. All the years of makeup, yeah. I do have Twitch, yes. So I am live on Twitch right now. So it is it's twitch.tv/guitarboss. I'll put that in the chat. I'll put the link. Well, I don't know if you can click the link, but you can go to my link tree and I have the Twitch link there. But That's my Twitch. She says Aerosmith was a disappointing show. You know what? I never saw them live. And maybe it's for the better. Never got to see them live. I do remember my cousin in 94 saw the Rolling Stones. My cousin it was like 93 or 94, he saw the Rolling Stones. And I remember my uncle telling him he's seeing history because he may never see the Rolling Stones again. And here we are 31 years later, and they're all still alive. Keith Richards is still alive somehow. Not really sure. He might be an AI. She says Auntie Steve was recording a video and didn't interact with the crowd. That's some bullshit. I like Priest. Dude, I love Judas Priest. Hell yeah. All right. Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers was one of the best shows. You know, I never saw Tom Petty, but I will say in, the classic rock kind of genre, one of the best shows that I ever saw was Journey and Jethro. It was Journey and Jethro Tull. No, I'm sorry. It was Journey one time, and then another year I saw Peter Frampton and Jethro Tull. Yo, Peter Frampton, this was like 2001. Peter Frampton's, he was awesome. That was an amazing show. I like Peter Frampton. Frampton comes alive, get the fuck out of here. Amazing. They might be giants. I've never heard of them, but I will have to check them out. But yeah, that was two of the best concerts I ever seen in my entire life was Journey and then Jethro Tull and Peter Frampton. Fucking awesome. All right, I think it's time to play a song. This next song is called The Omnipotent. Yo, Jethro Tull was so good. I was kind of surprised. They were fucking amazing. Yo, what's up, Ivan? Ivan's in the Twitch chat. Shout out to you, Ivan. Thank you. And thank you for the follow. Appreciate that. to Tess. Thank you, Tess. Appreciate the gift. This is the part where you put your lighters up in the air. Alright. Play Pantera. I don't know any Pantera songs. I am sorry about that. Shout out to Ivan on Twitch. Shout out to everybody watching on YouTube. And definitely shout out to everybody watching on TikTok. My name is Jay Tarantino. I play guitar in a band called Etherius. We are an instrumental melodic metal band. I play a lot of guitar solos. Stick around. That was a song called The Omnipotent. All right, man, let me switch guitars. I got a couple more. We're going to do a couple more here. And you know what's funny, man? I do a lot of talking here. I don't play as many songs. I'm always, I find that I got the new setup here. I'm always talking a little bit more than I'm playing, which not necessarily a bad thing. All right, let me switch guitars here, man. Let's keep this going. Everybody's making friends in the chat. That's what we do, man. I bring people together. She says we got to socialize somewhere. That's true, right? Shit, I don't go out. I never go out. I be home all the time. Yeah, we can all socialize together over the internet. She says, this is where my stuff and no crazy people. Well, I guess the jury's out. The jury's still out about whether we're crazy or not. Plus, it's like $200 to walk out the door. Listen, between gas, tolls, and food and stuff like that, yeah, you're probably not too far off. Have I ever heard a band that called Ligma? That sounds familiar, but I'm not too sure. What's up, Kenan? Kenan asks, what setup I'm using? Yeah, Florida is expensive. So is New Jersey. I live in Jersey. It's expensive here. It is very expensive. All right. Let's see. Kenan asks what setup I'm using. All right, so I am using, the guitar I'm using is a Kiesel Aries. My name on YouTube is Jay Tarantino. Type Jay Tarantino on YouTube, and my channel should be the first thing that comes up. So the guitar is a Kiesel Aries, 7-string. And then I'm running the guitar into the Axe-Fx. I have the Axe-Fx 2 XL Plus. And then Axe-Fx goes directly into my Focusrite 6i6 interface, and then I'm running Cubase 10, And what else do I have? That's pretty much it. I don't use any pedals. The only pedal I have is a tuner, and that's pretty much it. So it's just guitar into the Axe Effects directly into my interface, which is a Focusrite 6i6, and then run Cubase 10, and I got OBS and everything for my stream, for the Twitch stream and for the YouTube stream. I am on Facebook. I think I'm streaming on Facebook right now. Let me see if there's anybody over there. Facebook people are probably like, what the hell? This guy doesn't acknowledge us? Fuck is wrong with him? Let's see what's going on. Let's see what's going on in Facebook land. Yo, Citizen is on top of it, man. My dude is there putting the song titles. Let's see here. I'm going to like my own live video. What's going on Facebook? Nothing. Just like I thought. All right. Sorry to everybody on Facebook. I know I don't acknowledge you, but there's like 5 people over there. There's no one to acknowledge. Come over to YouTube, come over to Twitch. That's what I would say. Kenan says I'm using a Fender Mustang LT50. I'm not familiar with that. Is it digital? The Mustangs are cool. Citizen Fortress, how dare you step away, brother? You're a mod. You're my mod, dude. You can't be doing stuff like that. You can't be working while you're on the clock. How do you even find live? I don't even know. I'm pretty sure when you do a live, like when I set up the stream, I do the invites, and I think it sets it up for you. I don't even know. Facebook is weird. I have my artist page has like 22,000 followers, and I'll get like 3 people watching a stream. It's crazy, but it's all good. I got people. Most of the people watch me on TikTok and YouTube. Even the Twitch is kind of is a little slow, but it's all good. I just started streaming on Twitch like last week, so it hasn't even been 2 weeks. So it's gonna take a little while to build an audience there. But I made a commitment to stream every day for at least 30 days, just for now, and see how it goes, and then kind of see where I'm probably gonna end up keep doing that. Oh, it is a digital. Okay, yeah. I think Redneck Metalhead's got the 100-watt version of that same amp. All right, let's play some more music. This next song is called Ad Livun. Again, my name is Jay Tarantino. My band is called Etherius. I am playing some tracks from our catalog. I love guitar. I love to play fast, so I'm here to fucking shred and play some sick guitar solos. We have a new album. It's called Hymns at a Crimson Raven. Check it out. If you're watching on Twitch and YouTube, I pinned a link in the chat. My mod, Citizen, if he's paying attention, he put the link in the chat. Also, if you're watching on TikTok, the link is in my bio. Turn it up. Bring the noise. All right. This song is called Ad Livun. that again. All right, that was a song called Ad-Lib One right there from my band Etherius. All right, Kenan asks, do I prefer passive or active pickups? I love passive. These are passive pickups, but they're higher output. And I used to be an EMG guy. I don't have a problem with EMGs, but to me the passives it gives me the tone that I'm looking for. So just real tight low end, like for fast galloping, I got that nice tight kind of staccato sound. And but again, I don't have any problem with active pickups. Like I'm not an EMG hater. I think they have their purpose, but I just prefer passive pickups, honestly. All right, Citizens got The Nano Cortex Audio Box i2 audio interface. Oh, you got the Behringer FCB10. Okay, that's a good board, man. And a loop pedal. Dude, that's a sick rig, man. That's solid. That is a solid rig for what you're trying to do. All right, we're going to do one more song. I'm going to be back tomorrow. I stream. I'm here every single day. Every day I'm here live on TikTok, live on Twitch, live on YouTube, Facebook, sometimes Instagram. All right. Yes, that is a good point. I'm going to be practicing anyway, and I appreciate you sharing the experience with us. Thank you. Yeah, I would be doing this. I'd be, for lack of a better term, I'd be playing with myself. What's up, Windy City Riffs? Windy City Riffs came in here last night and was like, motherfucker, just play a song. And I did, and it was good. All right, Kenan says, I've been thinking about getting a guitar with some active pickups. Dude, check out the Fishman Fluence. There's a couple different models. Like Tosin has a model. Devin Townsend has a model. Check the Fishmans out. Or the Seymour Duncan Blackouts are pretty good too. Those are two options to think about if you besides EMGs. Danielle comes in here. Hey, buddy, how are you doing tonight? I'm great. How are you? Danielle's just coming in like a storm. I appreciate that. I'm doing great. I hope you're doing great. I'm not your buddy, guy. I'm not your guy, friend. All right, let me shut the fuck up and play a song, all right? Let's do it. Let's play a song before I get yelled at. All right. This song is called Hymns of the Crimson Raven. He said, thank God. was a song called Hymns of the Crimson Raven. All right, Windy City asks about backing tracks. Dude, so if you go to YouTube and you type in like a genre, like type in A minor rock backing track or A minor metal backing track, and you should be able to get some pretty cool, some pretty good ones. You could do, pick a key, pick a style, whether it's like blues, metal, rock. You could do you could type in like a E major Satriani style, E major Steve Vai style, and you'll get a ton of backing tracks. That's a good way to jam, I find. Windy City Riff says, dope. Thank you, man. All right, everyone. It is time for me to get out of here. But I'll be back tomorrow, man. I'm going to be back. I'm going to try to do a stream in the afternoon and then another one in the evening, depending on my work schedule. But if I get home early enough, we'll do one in the afternoon, and then I'll be back again at 9:30 tomorrow night. I'll be back at 9:30 on Sunday night as well. And we'll try to do an afternoon stream, like I said, Saturday and Sunday. But again, thank you, everyone, for tuning in. Thank you to everyone. All right, Windy City says, now I understand I actually have to now how to play. I can't even read tabs. Dude, tabs are easy, man. If you go to YouTube and you type in how to read tabs, piece of cake. All right, everyone. We're going to get out of here. Again, my name is Jay Tarantino. Dude, I remember Olga, the online guitar archive. Oh. You're speaking my language. Yes. It was the worst. It was the shittiest tabs ever, but it was like the holy grail. Because that was all we could find. Yeah, I do Songster. Yeah, Olga was the online guitar archive. It was an old tab site in like the late 90s. That place was the shit. It might, I don't even know if it still exists. I have to look. It's been a while. But the tabs were usually not accurate. But it was awesome. Yes, you just brought back some memories. Oh, it doesn't exist anymore? Damn. I get everything from Songster now. Yeah, it was close enough. All right, everyone. Man, we're going to get out of here. I'll be back tomorrow. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. Shout out to everybody on YouTube and Twitch. And, of course, shout out to everybody on TikTok. I will see you tomorrow. Check out the new Etherius album, Hymns of the Crimson Raven. I'll see you tomorrow. Peace.